Hey everyone, Mark from Guitar Nerds here, counting down the top 10 weirdest Gibsons of all time. Now if you've seen any of my previous videos, you'll know that I normally only do top 5s, but Gibson have done so much weird stuff over the years that I've extended this one out to a top 10. So let's not waste any time, and let's get on with the first oddity on this list.
Number 10.
At number 10 we have a comparatively recent entry into the Gibson catalogue. Released in 2013, the N225 borrowed heavily from the Nighthawk body shape and featured a chambered maple body and a maple top with a split F-hole design. The combination of a splittable Dirty Fingers humbucker in the bridge and a fat P90 in the neck made the N225 a very versatile instrument indeed. The addition of a vibrola and hand-painted pinstriping meant the guitar appealed to a classic rock and roll and rockabilly market. While technically still available today, the N225 is rarely seen on store shelves and remains a footnote in Gibson's rich history.
Number 9.
In the number 9 spot, we actually have two guitars that share a body shape. Released in 1975 and 1976 respectively, the Gibson Marauder and Gibson S1 featured a maple or mahogany body dependent on finish, a bolt-on neck and a pointed Flying V style headstock. Both had pickups designed by Bill Lawrence, with the Marauder featuring a single coil in the bridge and a velvet brick humbucker in the neck. The S1 had a full complement of 3 single coils. Despite the lack of recognisably Gibson features, the Marauder and S1 sold relatively well until they were discontinued in early 1980, selling around 10,000 units between them. In recent years, they've been seen in the hands of Derek Whibley from Sum 41 and Thurston Moore of Sonic Youth.
Number 8.
If you're old enough to remember the 1980s, you're old enough to remember the golden age of the Super Strat. Following the rising popularity of shredders such as Yngwie Malmsteen and Eddie Van Halen, humbucker-equipped Fender alikes were all the rage, and Gibson were keen to avoid falling behind the times. Released in 1981, the Victory MVX featured a vaguely Strat-shaped body, a trio of high-output humbuckers, and a slim, speedy neck profile. With an elongated headstock similar to that of the Firebird, the MVX looked nothing like the Gibsons that had come before it. It was also unusual in that it featured a coil tap, allowing for Fender-esque single coil tones from each of the 3 pickups, making the Victory MVX a very versatile guitar indeed. If you're looking for a Super Strat and want something a little bit different, you could do far worse than the Victory MVX. However, they are incredibly rare, so keep your eyes peeled and snap one up if you ever see one.
Number 7.
At number 7 we have the Sonex 180. Released in 1980 as part of the Sonex range, the 180 replaced the Marauder and S1 that we looked at earlier in the countdown as the most affordable guitar Gibson produced at the time. Although the Sonex shared the same body shape as the Marauder and the S1, it used Gibson's new Resowood technology, a process that combined a wooden core with a plastic outer shell. This quirky construction made the guitar incredibly inexpensive to produce, but also deterred Gibson purists from parting with their cash, leading to the model being discontinued in 1983. While the Sonex 180 isn't generally as rare as some of the guitars on this list, it was produced in a wider range of colours, some of which are very rare indeed. For example, Gibson's factory records show that less than 100 silver guitars were produced, and these are definitely worth keeping an eye out for.
Number 6.
At number 6 we have a guitar that was designed to look like a crow in flight, but ended up looking like a can opener. Don't believe me? Check out the Gibson Corvis. Named after the Latin word for crow, the Corvis was produced between 1982 and 1984 as part of the American line and consisted of 3 models. The Corvis 1 featured a single humbucker, the Corvis 2 a pair of humbuckers, and the Corvis 3 a full complement of 3 single coils. While all 3 standard models had a bolt-on neck, Gibson also released a rebranded version with a set neck under the Futura name, which is something we'll come back to in the second part of this countdown. As with the rest of the American line, the Corvis was designed to renew interest in Gibson guitars in the early 1980s. Unfortunately, the line proved to be unpopular and was discontinued only 2 years into production. While the Corvis is widely regarded as one of the weirdest Gibsons of all time, we still have 5 more slots to fill on this list. Which guitars are going to fill those slots? You'll have to wait to the second half of this countdown to find out. Please do subscribe to Guitar Nerds so you don't miss the second half of this video. Leave a comment below with your guess as to what's going to be in the top 5, and do tell your Guitar Nerds friends all about the channel. See you next time.